last week in Nevada, I put brand new tires on here. You can see this one completely failed. Tore the fender and everything right off. I don't know what to do with that. And now I got to get this up on a jack and get it replaced. And try not to get run over in the process. There are always some places, some hunts with some people that get you excited. No matter what is on your mind, no matter what is occupying your time, you block it out and say, this is what I'm gonna do. And that's what this hunt is. This is an elk hunt in northern Arizona with my longtime dear friend, Jerry Pritchard. There was nothing going to keep me from coming on this hunt when Jerry let me know, hey, guess what? I drew this tag in Arizona. Well, Jerry, I'm gonna be like a wood tick. I'm gonna be here. You are not gonna get rid of me. I'm gonna be attached to you every place you go. Jerry and I grew up together in a little town, Big Falls, Minnesota, and we've known each other since we were toddlers. Our parents are close friends. Our families are close friends. Everything we've done in life seems to have followed similar paths. And whenever we get to come and share a hunt, and to me, sharing a hunt is, at this point in my life, the most important thing. But when Jerry and I get to do it, it is so natural, so pleasant, so entertaining, and so damn fun. I'm laughing the whole time. I'm sure the camera guys are thinking, these two knuckleheads, all they want to do is joke and laugh and tell old stories. Yep, that's kind of what we do. If all goes according to plan, the idea is we're going to find some decent bulls. And Jerry's not one of these guys who has to shoot the biggest bull on the mountain. Jerry focuses on a couple things. He wants to make a good shot. He wants a representative species of, or sample of the species. And he wants to have a good time. What more could you ask for? Arizona elk with one of your best friends who just wants to come here and have a good time. That's what this is about. Here's the bad news, Jer. Where we hunt, someone pulled in 2 fifth wheels.
Why would that be my luck?
you don't suppose that they put some sort of temporary mining claim up there or something, do you?
I don't know, but let's hope they go by most campers and they drive 5 miles that way to do their hunting. So.
Let's hope so.
We were able to arrive Wednesday evening and give ourselves a full day of scouting. Even though Randy had hunted this unit twice before, we wanted to come and make sure that the area was consistent with what he had hunted before. And we're kind of glad we did. There were several different dynamics that occurred when we scouted. Number one, there was far more people camped here than Randy had ever experienced in the past. The game biologist for the unit had recommended people to the area due to the shortage of water. So that was one dynamic that was different. But on our scouting day, we were able to see elk where Randy has traditionally seen elk.
You see all these beds and tracks and trails. When the pressure comes from around here, from down below, this ridge, and that ridge are where they bed. Because they can bail off here so fast that it's a safe place.
There's a ton of sign on this ridge.
Wow. What they don't know is we're going to be sitting here waiting for them.
I can't wait.
We're going to come in really early tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, we'll probably be sitting here in the dark for an hour.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen this many rigs camped up around here.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long for the shooting to start, but wow, what a great place for them to come here.
Yeah.
There's a nice one there. Holy look at this one coming.
Oh my God.
That's a great big one.
That's a great big one, you're right.
And he's really wide.
Yeah. That's different than the ones I just saw.
He's really, really wide.
Now that one you want to shoot.
Oh, the one he's with is nice, but he doesn't have
The back, the one in the back is Big Ang. That's exactly where that big one was that Matthew and I were hunting. Look at that one.
That is just a monster right there. But I can't get over how wide he is.
He's not got a single broken point.
Man, oh man. I'd love to get a poke at him. The one that's with him ain't bad.
No. Those are different than the ones I just saw.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, when he's got a bob and weave like that to get through the trees, you know he's a big one.
That's the biggest elk I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know that he's got a bunch of mass, but I don't know that I've seen that.
He's got good mass.
I haven't seen that big a bull in a long time. Holy smokes.
That was a big one. That's a great big one.
That's a great big one there. I saw the first one going up. I thought, well, that's a nice bull right there.
Wow.
At that kind of distance, too, when you can see that.
Well, we gotta be in this basin in the morning.
What are you supposed to do? Go bed on the other side of that?
Yeah, if they bed over there today, part of me is wondering if we want to get up on that rock. And when they come cruising through there in the morning, you shoot them at 240 yards.
Man, oh man, that was a nice bull.
Yeah.
Sleep's gonna come hard tonight.
You know, one of the things about these late Arizona rifle hunts is they happen usually the last part of November, first part of December. And those of you who listen to me in a lot of my talks and presentations about elk hunting, we talk about the 5 calendar periods of elk hunting. Early season, pre-rut, peak rut, post-rut, late season. This is late season. And the needs of elk in late season is sanctuary, 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 followed by water and food. So the places that we're gonna scout, the places we're gonna hunt, are the places most other hunters don't want to go. So very often in this sanctuary mode, if you can find what that bull is using as his sanctuary, you're not going to find him anywhere else other than in maybe, I don't know, the radius is a half mile, unless he gets pushed by other hunters and hunting pressure. He's found everything he needs. He's just got to make it for another week and he's going to survive another hunting season. And these old bulls have figured that out. They use the same place year after year after year. And so after seeing all these elk in our scouting day, I think we saw 7 bulls. I'm excited. I'm telling Jerry, you know what? I've hunted that spot. If they don't get buggered by other hunters, we are going to kill a bull elk. And we're going to kill it right down in that spot.
I hope so. But we're gonna avoid the, what do you do if you find someone on your rock problem? We're gonna be there first.
Do we gotta introduce our other character?
Yeah.
All right. We forgot to tell the world you guys were here. Nice. We got Carson. We got Lucas from Gerber. They are here to scout the elk, to use our Gerber tools to cut it up, cut, kill, process in the field. There's one thing about finding a big elk in the scouting day. It's that it kind of sets an expectation. If it's a big, big bull, even higher than you thought, it can be a curse. I'll just put it that way. You're thinking about, oh man, what's gonna happen if a smaller one comes out? Am I gonna shoot a smaller one knowing that really big one's in here? And so Jerry and I were talking about that because we'd looked at the footage after the scouting day, and opening morning, we hike into this spot. We'd went and kind of scouted and marked our path in there the night before so we knew we could get in there. And so we're sitting there on this rock just waiting and waiting, knowing those elk are here somewhere.
Well, it's about 10 minutes into opening morning. We're sitting above where we were yesterday, up from the other ridge. saw several of them come down this ridge and cross over on this ridge, including the biggest of the elk. Came around and came up through here. We're kind of hoping that the pressure that's going to come this morning from the hunting is either going to bring elk up this way or bring elk down this way. And we still think that the ones we saw yesterday are living in the area. So we're just going to sit and be patient here this morning.
Well, we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and far off I saw a bull. Way, way far off, couldn't get any footage of him. We sat here in this spot where we'd seen all those elk on the scouting day. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's about 3:30 now. We've still not had any luck today. And we still haven't seen the hunters either. Last night, there's just a ton of people camped all along this rim and all behind us here. We thought for sure we would see more hunters. We really only had 3 come up to the same point that we have, and we've spotted very few walking on these ridges. And we were kind of hoping that would be a dynamic that would work to our advantage to move the elk, and it hasn't thus far. So maybe everyone's doing the same thing we are, I don't know. But there is a ton of pressure here. This is the one location in the unit that has a substantial amount of water, and the game biologist for the unit has been directing just about everybody into this unit. So we've got a lot of hunting pressure we're dealing with. We're trying to use that to our advantage. Thus far it hasn't worked, but we're going to stick with it. So as day one came to a close, we were obviously disappointed that we did not find the elk that we had seen scouting, but we were really optimistic because we were in a great place. We heard a few shots, but not a lot. There wasn't a lot of activity in the area, so there really was no reason to believe that these elk had left the area. It was just a matter of, finding the right time when they would move a little bit, when they'd stand up. So we decided we would go back to the same spot on the second day.
Ready, Jerry?
Yep.
Day 2.
Day 2.
Go get him.
We're going to do better than we did yesterday. That's our high bar today.
All right.
Let's do it.
I believe you.
What I'm gonna do, Jerry, I'm gonna leave my spot here on that rock because you guys have much longer distances.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up here about a quarter mile on this rock, and I'm just gonna glass it until I think they might be bedded, and then I'll be back here if I put one to bed. Okay. That was the spot you told me about. You can look back up into that burn, the bowl there. Yeah, that's the spot we couldn't see yesterday. I'm gonna head over there now. All right. Take me half hour to get there. Spot the big one and chain him down. I'll be up momentarily. I brought my electric fence with me, so I'll get him fenced in. Okay. Good luck. Good luck. Had an elk pass through, and I never got my binoculars on it. Passed through in the shade below. I think he came off this ridge. But I lost him when he came down. We thought we'd come down and see if we could get a look at him, but I think we're gonna head back up top. I'm not sure what he's gonna do. But he should probably work his way back up canyon. So that's what we're gonna give it a try.
That stuff happens. That's just elk hunting, especially in this kind of country. It is really hard to glass. A lot of people don't like hunting some of these units in Arizona in the late seasons because the bulls, they get kegged up in these dark, ugly, nasty, really thick places, and you just can't see them. Glassing them is really a challenge. And so you just gotta accept that. And I think Jerry felt, oh gosh, that might have been our chance, and maybe I didn't make the most of it. I'm like, whatever, don't worry about it. So for the rest of that day, we pretty much just sat on the rock, glassing, looking, looking. Stayed there until the bitter end. Stayed there right till dark. We didn't see another elk. 2 days down. Things are getting tight now.
You know, the first couple of days we were here, we had really almost too good of weather the first couple of days. But then the third day, things changed. It started getting colder, and more importantly, it got windy. Gusts up to 40 miles an hour according to the forecast, and boy, sitting up on that rock, it sure felt like 40 miles an hour, if not harder.
I'm like, great. We're already dealing with a super full moon, so the elk are doing most of their activity at night. Now we're gonna have 30 to 40 mile an hour winds? Oh, that's not good. So I told Jerry, you know, we sat there for an hour. Finally I said, hey, I'm gonna go do some more walking, see if I can bump something, move it kind of this way. And the only thing I did was I almost got run over by a mule deer. Recorded that on my cell phone. I don't know if it'll work out, but.
We finally did have an elk come out of their bed and take a step in the open where we could see him. That looks like a nice bull, Michael.
Yeah, that means he's getting excited.
Well,
How far is he from?
he's 437. Not in this wind. He's gonna have to get a little bit closer. We ranged it. It was 434 yards. The wind was just howling. It was direct crosswind. I just wasn't comfortable making the shot. The elk stood there for probably 15 or 20 minutes, but I probably made my mental decision within the first minute. It just was not something I was comfortable shooting. There's a lot of hunters that probably could have made that shot and would have made that shot, but I just didn't feel comfortable taking it. So we decided that we would wait that animal out. He eventually stepped back into his bedding cover. We decided we would wait him out. We think he's still in the bottom down there. So we're still gonna wait and maybe discuss strategy on how we might try to push him out of there. But we've got a little bit of time here. I don't think we need to rush into this. I think we can develop a bit of a plan. But we're gonna keep glassing, see if he comes back out, see if he moves through the woods, and then decide here in an hour or so whether we'll try to push him out of there or not.
So we sat there the rest of the day in that wind. It was just ripping. There was no place you could hide from it. And I think the elk were hiding from it also, because we sat there all day and we did not see another elk. We didn't see many hunters that day. On a day like that, you don't have to worry about a lot of hunting pressure.
Well, folks, at the end of day 3, it stayed windy, but it's gotten colder. We never saw that bull again this evening. We hung in here a while. It's getting colder now. We're gonna come back out and try it again in the morning. We know there's at least 2 good bulls living in this canyon. We know at least 3 more that we saw on the scouting day that passed through this canyon. So it's supposed to be cold tomorrow, but hopefully a lot less windy, make conditions better. So we're gonna stick with it tomorrow.
You ready?
I'm ready.
This is the day? Why did you wait till the 4th day?
Well, I wanted to build some suspense. Okay. I didn't want to get it done too soon, but I'm ready today.
All right.
No more suspense.
All right. I'm good with that.
The script that we sent him said he was supposed to be out here this morning. He's late. He may not have opened it yet. May have been delayed in the mail. He's got a case of the Mondays. Boy, perfect morning. Oh well. Insubordinate SOB. They don't listen to anything. I know what we're gonna do. I'm sure the viewers are wondering why zephyr wind, we saw another really nice bull 450 yards away. We're not trying to bore you. We're just doing what, over time, normally pays off with a nice elk.
We're gonna stick with it. They're in here. I think they're gonna move a little bit today. Maybe we'll get a look at them.
Alright. Guess we get in our positions then, so
Let's do it. Yep.
Carson and Lucas are off to our right about 30 yards. They can look kind of west. We're looking south, southeast. They're looking west, southwest. And Carson sneaks over and says, hey, there's two bulls right out across from us. So I sneak over there and look, get an idea where they are, sneak back over to Jerry. And it's weird. These bulls are in the wide open from this angle 30 yards away. You move over 30 yards to the left and they're completely obscured by trees. Well, finally, one of them moves up on this bench, and I pointed out to Michael on the camera, and I don't know how much footage of this we got, but the biggest bull is standing there looking up. And in my head, I'm like, oh, don't tell me that there's somebody sitting on that rock pile above that ridge, because the thermals are coming downhill, and those elk are going to smell them. That thought no more than entered my head, and about, I don't know, 10 seconds later, whoom, those bulls take off on the dead run down and away from us. And they run into this really, really thick, just nasty place. And I've walked through it before. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that might not be all bad. They'll go down there and they'll bed, and we'll just let them stay there for the day. And probably 20 minutes later, down the ridge comes the hunter, wind at his back, just strolling along, doing his thing. You know, that's public land. He's got as much right to be here as I do, so, you know, you just got to deal with it. And when you're hunting public land like we do, you better just have the mindset that, hey, that's going to happen. And I bet you there's times unknowingly I've screwed up someone else's setup. And when I find out that I might have, I feel bad about it. I mean, it's not like this guy said, oh, let me see if I can chase these elk away from this guy. It's just how it happens. And I looked at Jerry and I said, you know, that was close. That was exactly how we planned it, other than the other hunter scaring the elk.
So this fella what he did is he came down this ridge. What I don't know is if he's gonna go back up.
Or if he's gonna come up behind us. But what we do know is there are two bulls at this basin.
Yep.
I say we go there early and we make a show of force. We claim those two knobs well before prime hunting time.
Tomorrow morning, you mean?
No, tonight.
Tonight, okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
Those bulls are going to get out of their beds sometime before dark, and you're going to shoot one of them.
I have no problem with that.
Because if Carson and Lucas go to this knob, they can see what few slopes we can. We'll go to that knob. If we go to that knob, it's no more than a 300-yard shot to any slope.
I'd say let's do it. There's obviously more activity this morning here. And this guy came down this ridge, I'm sure those bulls knew he was going past them. So they know there's danger in the area. They're probably going to stay put for a little while.
I think what happened, like most hunters, guys, he came and he plopped himself on a rock up above those bulls. And with the downwind thermals in the morning, they smelled him. And finally they got a good enough whiff of it, and they said, you know what, vamos, and they took off stage right. And now after he got cold, he said, I gotta go walk around and warm up a bit. And that's when he come walking down here.
Yeah.
We got set up in the evening on day 4, probably about 700-800 yards from where we had been sitting, above where we thought they had went to bed. And we determined we would sit there for roughly 2 hours until about 4:30, and if they didn't stand up or move, Randy was going to take a route down through the canyon, using the wind, making a lot of noise, trying to push the animals out in front of me as kind of a last-ditch effort on the 4th day to try to get a look at these bulls.
Thanks again, Finn.
Hulkamania running along. I pity the fool.
Unfortunately, they didn't stand up and they didn't move. Randy did go make the walk down through the canyon, through where we thought they would bedded. Unfortunately, they weren't there, so they either didn't go there or had moved as we were moving locations. So again, sometimes you make a good plan, sometimes it doesn't work. Especially on public lands, it's just really hard to say where the animals are gonna go once they've been spooked.
Well, folks, it's the last day of the hunt. It's the last day of the season. After this, I got to go home to being a domestic person again, driving a desk for a living. So I hope we can finish it off in grand style for Mr. Jerry Pritchard here. 14 degrees right now. Supposed to be a north wind, 20 miles an hour up there on top of the rock. So if we don't die of hypothermia today, we should have fun.
We just need that one lucky break. But you never know, that's how hunting goes. Sometimes it just falls in your lap and it looks easy. Sometimes you work your butt off and you don't have anything to show for it. But the fun part is getting to spend a week with probably my longest time friend in the world, Jerry Pritchard.
And we just sat there and watched and watched and watched. We didn't see much for other hunters. I think most of them were sleeping in, staying warm. But unfortunately, we didn't see any elk either.
Well, we're at the end of day 5. Actually, only 4.5 days. We've seen a total of 4 elk, I think, during this time. Actually, 7 elk. Let me take that back because Randy saw some elk that I didn't. We've seen a total of 7 elk. All of them very nice bulls, and that's what we came for, was shoot. And sometimes you don't find what you're looking for. We had chances at 3 of the elk, but they weren't the right chances for us. And so I hunted an area I didn't get to hunt before. I got to hunt with a longtime friend, Randy Newberg, who I get to do about once every other year, and also met some new friends. We had Lucas and Carson here from Gerber. All of those things together is why I do this. I don't get to do it very often. When I do, it's valuable to come out and be with friends, meet new friends, see new areas. So even though we didn't get a kill this time, it's a fantastic experience for myself. So.
Well, I know it's often stated that the time spent with close friends is the true treasure of hunting. And in this case, it is. Jerry Pritchard is one of my dearest friends. And if by some ugly fate they told me I only got one hunting friend in life and it had to be Jerry Pritchard, well, I'd be hard pressed to do any better than that. Thanks, Jer. Appreciate it. Can't wait till the next time.